Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You're watching StarSeries Star Ladder. This is game number 2 of the day, number 10. And we're gonna see VirtusPro versus 4FC in this one, as it is an all pick because the draft has already been done, as we are slightly behind schedule. Of course, I will not be by myself. I am joined by Vickermont. Vickermont, welcome back.
Good to be back. I chewed through all of my coffee last game, and it doesn't seem to have had an effect. No, it was actually really strategically interesting, but the moment-to-moment action was primarily the indiscriminate slaughter of creeps. This game, I anticipate being a lot more snappy, just because of the lineups. 4FC will definitely be seeking to slow the game down, to give space to Spectre, but I think VP have enough tools to make a very, very credible threat in the early to mid-game, and if they fail, it doesn't really matter how big Spectre is, 4FC will be able to probably roll.
Yeah, let's see who we actually have in this game, of course. On the side of 4FC, who will be on the Radiant side for this game. We have one stand-in, it will be Karki, who'll be playing the Visage. They also have Strangby on his Rubik, so that's our support duo right there. We've got Blomberg, who'll take on the mid lane on the puck. Giftig will take on the Spectre as a farming role. I'm assuming it's going to be a safe lane, but for now they are roaming inside the dire jungle. Nature's Prophet will be the last one, and he is going to be played by Krilly. So he'll be on the offlane / jungle, as we are going to expect that. And they're still roaming inside the dire jungle, placing the ward to stop Chen from getting those bigger creeps.
Yeah, it's a nice ward. It's not on the... We frequently see it up here on the high ground, but this is fine too. This is definitely a jungle Nature's Prophet, just based on his loadout. And Krilly, well, no, okay, he's going to start in the offlane, pop a couple treants, and then eventually head to the jungle. Krilly has been playing a lot of Nature's Prophet. In fact, he's won some games for them just on the back of this hero. Looking towards VirtusPro, they played an absolutely fantastic game against Fnatic yesterday. In fact, it was probably the first game I think a lot of us were convinced that this new lineup is going to be able to gel together and really live up to its star power potential. Resolution, playing the one role, is on the Weaver in the top lane. He's supported by NS on the Bane, and of course Goblak will be jungling and supporting as Chen. That leaves G on one of his better heroes, Templar Assassin, in the mid lane, and Light of Heaven doing the Clockwork Party block in the off lane.
Yeah, and they cannot leave the party, they're stuck. Light of Heaven will be therefore getting the creep wave towards his tower, and will therefore, in theory, get some farming experience. Of course, Clockwork, one of those off lanes that has to do this, because otherwise he doesn't have a chance to get some experience in farm. Because he doesn't have the escape route that Krilly has. If he doesn't work out on the lane, he can always just go into that jungle, as we have got VirtusPro. They lured their creep wave, the opponent's creep wave, also towards the place where the Treants lured the Dire's creep wave. So there's now a creep wave meeting in the jungle, but that works out just okay. As the last Treant gets Nightmare, just to make sure that it's going to be an even battle. The Treant could have gotten all the way to block the camp, and instead he Nightmares it. That's actually really good use by NS. So I mean, obviously a very, very experienced support. I would say that so far this is going VP's way. Yeah, I mean, the bottom lane, Clockwork is doing good, so as in he has got the creep wave towards his tower. He's picked up a little bit of experience, but just a minor bit. The top lane is going well, and of course the mid lane so far, G, I mean, it's one of his favorite heroes, as you already said. He really loves to play this hero, and in theory, TA should win from a puck.
Yeah, this is a very favorite matchup for Templar Assassin, actually, all things being equal. I think this, I mean, I have no idea how the draft went, because obviously we were in a 67-minute game previously, so they started the draft, which makes sense. But I suspect this TA was probably a later pick, as sort of a surprise, because people aren't playing TA that much. But hey, Puck is one of the most common mid heroes right now, and TA has a very good matchup against him. So you can just see 10 for 2 to 7 for 0. Blomberg's doing pretty well, but G will continue to sort of have an advantage in this lane.
Yeah, those Psyblades, no joke for sure. And Blomberg, you can't dodge
it's that
them
and
all.
Refraction too, yeah.
We have a smoke up, by the way, coming off on VirtusPro. Look at this, 2 minutes in the game and already action. Who knew? But Goblak has got a Centaur, so that works well together with a Nightmare from an S. You can put the Nightmare down and then of course go for a stun. In the meantime, we also have an invisible Strangby already here, so that means that the smoke will be popped off. And now they know that someone has to be here.
Right. But G doesn't seem to, he's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
They can't really put that much of a credible threat. Like, what's Telekinesis is not going to get a first blood in this lane.
So that's something
he's
that
out of mana, so maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I doubt it.
Well, the supports rotate. There is a ward up, of course, here on the high ground for 4FC, so they see Goblak entering their jungle. They see a Ness in their jungle. Actually, I think a Ness was still smoked up, but they see it now, considering he's walking next to a creep wave. And that means that we're going to have 4FC being extra careful here, unless Strangby just walks right into them, which would be possible. But so far, nope.
Can they really kill him is the question. They're just really stealing this jungle out, which I like, but I don't really see how, for instance, if they tried to attack Rubik there, I don't really think they could kill him.
No,
like Light of Heaven's down here, but he's a level 2 Clockwork. He's not going to contribute. He has no boots.
And of course, a Visage is a very dangerous hero to be fighting around.
Right. Yeah, and Bane, he's level 2, so he only has the 1 Brain Sap. I don't know. I think it's an interesting situation. It's sort of a pseudo tri-lane versus a pseudo tri-lane, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna probably, I think they just stay in this jungle unless they want to roam and try to kill Puck again.
Well, they have to try and do it very sneakily, because for now they have like made it loud and clear that everybody knows that they're now in the Radiant jungle. So we'll see if they can
I gotta
sneak
say,
that in.
Yeah, I mean, but Radiant can't displace them, so it's fine. The other thing is, Giftig not really last hitting all that well. He's only 16 for 2. Of course, he was not pooled at all, so he doesn't have something like a Quelling Blade. But when you look at the 29 for 11 Weaver, who also is facing just as much, if not more, opposition, I feel like the Spectre probably to this point should have been doing better, because now it's going to become a lot harder with the Chen and Bane here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had free farm like Giftig in theory, so...
Especially, yeah, I mean, well, there was the party block, but still, those creeps come back eventually.
Yeah. One thing, of course, that we have to take note of is that Clockwork will be able to last at some of the Treants, but you still, for sure, I mean, there's a big difference between the two of them now, like almost double the amount of last hits on the Weaver. It's pretty scary. Weaver actually just TPing out in time as Resolution was able to force him back. Resolution, almost level 6. Almost time-lapse means that he's almost gonna be even harder to kill than he is already. Where are you expecting the first blood to happen in this game? Is it gonna be on the bottom lane, mid, or top?
Probably mid, but honestly, I mean, you can never discount the 3v3 lane generating a first blood. It certainly won't be top, so because Krilly can just leave, which he's now done. I think mid or bottom, fairly equal likelihood. Weaver's having a monstrous game, though, honestly. This Weaver's really developing. I like this early Akala. It's a lot of people are doing this these days rather than just going straight for the Lincolns. I think it's way better. It gives you a lot more laning power. And some push, too, because of the AoE aura.
Yeah, split pushing already starting to be a danger. I mean, if you're worried about Spectre-Weaver matchup very late game, Weaver will come online a lot earlier, especially with the amount of farm that he has. So I think that for now, VirtusPro is going to be so comfortable in this game. We already have almost 2k gold in their favor, as TA has no longer got a double damage rune, but had it before, was able to harass or zone Blumberg slightly out. Blumberg, oh wait a second, bottom lane might have a first blood. There we go, indeed. Light of Heaven ends up going down for the first one. Spectre still goes down for NS as they try to take down the Visage. Krilly coming in here as well. In comes G, and down goes Krilly. It's 2 for 3 here in the end. VirtusPro taking the most heroes out. However, the first blood, of course, in the hands of 4FC. So in the end, I would say a favorable trade, like, even trade, I think.
I would say that VP probably more favored, because they here's the thing, they took out the Spectre, that's so important to 4FC's plans, still holding him down. They got G involved, so he got his first kill, and Weaver didn't have to participate at all. So they took out, when you take out Nature's Prophet and Spectre in a fight against a team like this, I feel like you feel good even if you paid 2 or 3 heroes and a first blood for the privilege.
Yeah, the first blood did go to the Spectre, but he's already behind anyway, so...
Yeah, he lost, well, some gold. Obviously, he didn't lose that gold because it was reliable, but...
Yeah, in the meantime, Blumberg, he can't really make that same rotation. He really can't, as Light of Heaven comes in the mid lane to take some experience. Blumberg's time to shine comes only when he picks up some more items, when he gets himself perhaps a Blink Dagger on board, and until that happens, I think 4FC is going to be a slave to whatever VirtusPro does to them, and right now that might just be coming in here. In comes the Silence, in comes a Dream Coil, up on 2 Telekinesis there as well, and S will be the first one to go down. Goblak taking a lot of damage here as well, and will end up going down. Can he take up the creeps? Yes, he can. At least one. No? Not 7 HP? Never mind. But still 2 kills going away for 4FC. Important ones, especially for Blumberg.
Yes, disrupt the offensive jungle. These wards are still up, so if they can de-ward these, that'd be great, but getting the 2 kills on Blomberg, really equalizing him with G in a lane that is very, very difficult for Puck, but getting those 2 kills will help go a long way, because now he can get the tier 2 boots of his choice.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's highest on net worth for his team. I'm not sure if it's actually good for him or if that's just bad for Spectre, because of course you'd expect Spectre to be that since he has a safe lane around him. With a Visage and a Rubik as well, I mean 2 heroes that overall are just supposed to be making your lane very safe. But apparently not safe enough to go for some free farm. Weaver so far, of course, highest on net worth of everybody. Sitting on 1200 gold, he's got treads, got his Aquila, and I mean he's just doing overall really well. He
He really is.
He's getting some help also, and S has rotated back top. The tower almost dead as well, so next push should be giving him a last hit of the tier 1. Unless, of course, that can be prevented by Krilly, who is now forced to sit on the top lane because of that very fact, and therefore will, of course, not be able to farm inside the jungle.
I really like this player, Resolution. Actually, Light of Heaven in trouble, but I'll talk about why I like Resolution later. Because they might... No, they won't dive. He's too far back. Really
but
smart
the
play by
TP
Light of
comes
Heaven.
in comes G. Nice telekinesis helping out. Flare still going,
don't
Trap
see
still
it.
going as well. G, does he have any extra movement speed? He doesn't have a blink dagger of some
No.
sort. I mean, it's 8 minutes in. What am I saying? In comes another trap though. He wants to go for Strangby. Double damage rune there. Boom. Yeah, that's a kill. For sure. Looking for the next one. Nice extra movement speed by Karki, but still getting slow. Light of Heaven has got the cogs. Will be trying to get it and gets it, and that's gonna be another kill going the way of G if he gets his way. Melt hit, and boom, he's dead. Double kill. Light of Heaven will go down maybe if Gifted gets his way. Don't dive that, Gifted. Nature's Prophet Ultimate will take care of that one, but if you dive for that, that's so not worth it. Sick charges, telekinesis helping out. That's gonna be the end of that one. That means that G will not get the Spectre, which is something that he would really be happy to get. Nice,
For
Centaur
sure.
stun.
By the way, top.
And Weaver diving, and that's gonna be Krilly dying. Weaver and Bane helping out, of course, as well. And that should be a tower down on the bottom lane. And, I mean, that's just 2 fights, 1 for VirtusPro across the map.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, an early DD rune for TA is so tremendously scale tipping. Like, you could just see he milked that DD rune for all it was worth. He didn't want to just stay in lane with it. He wanted to go get kills. So even though 4FC made a good retreat, it wasn't enough. Now, can I talk about Resolution for a second? This player is so good. Like, he just switched to the carry role pretty recently. Before that, he mostly played mid for IC Cup, and look at just his last hits and his development and his positioning this game. Like, sure, he had Nature's Prophet traits to chew on, but at 10 minutes, this guy's 81 last hits and a tower, 2.6k gold and power treads and Akala. He's just really like I don't know. It's just really hardworking. It's really nice to see like a young, pretty new player on the scene just take to whatever role he plays and just play so well at it. This Weaver is going to be very dominant. He's going to get big much earlier than Spectre.
Yeah, the Spectre
Like, look
just
at the
honestly
last hit
struggling.
difference.
Yeah, he's 38 for 10 on the Spectre with the Weaver sitting at 81. I mean, it's just troublesome. In the meantime, we've got VirtusPro overall doing really well, and then with the Templar Assassin, with the Chen, they can take an early Roshan as well, especially since the Medallion is picked up as well. So that will mean VirtusPro get a 10-minute Aegis. Right now, we are seeing Strangby trying to do something against it with a Treant scouting it out, perhaps. But there are so many wards up there that VirtusPro will not get themselves caught out. But there's nothing that 4FC cannot take Roshan yet.
If it depends on how hard VP commit to it. 4FC might not be able to take it, but they can definitely ruin an attempt, because Puck can jump in, Nature's Prophet can be... The thing is, Spectre can farm up until they know they need to fight for the Rosh and then just cast the ultimate, right? This is the cool thing about Spectre. She can get to a fight from anywhere, so...
Oh, telekinesis. Does he get it? Yes, he does. Bye, G.
Alright, to those who died.
In comes the hook shot. Light of Heaven no longer has
No
any
mana.
mana though. Nice speed skip up on Strangby. In comes the Haunt as well. Light of Heaven still getting the Hand of God. Will get picked off though. There comes the Dream Coil up on 2. Goblik taking quite a bit of damage here, and will get put down by the Visage, while G was able to get himself home safe via send home by the Chen. But 3 dead for VirtusPro. That was just overextension. They thought, you know what, we're so far ahead, we can take this fight, but they were just, I don't know, underestimating 4FC's positioning perhaps.
I don't think... I disagree with Light of Heaven's choice to start that fight. He had to have known that G was not able to participate. If they have G, it's a different story, sure. Hook shot without mana for Cogs or Flare or Battery Assault, because you have a Templar Assassin to deal all the damage. But when TA... He made the decision to throw hook shot after TA was on the high ground.
Yeah.
So it's still this issue where VP, it's a team of extremely strong players, but sometimes I wonder, are they even talking to each other? Like...
Burn! I think we can assume that they are talking to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to be mean, but like it's just
Too
a
late.
decision that makes no sense. But they're amazing players, far better than I will ever be. But it's just weird. It's a weird fight.
It was a weird fight. Definitely so. We do have, of course, Chen showing off his Hand of God. He just got level 6. That is something that now also, because of that fight, Rubik and Visage are also. And that's a big deal. They weren't level 6 before that fight. And now we have Familiars. We've got Spell Steal, as a Rubik has to get himself away from Resolution. And he can do that because he's level 6, because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to steal Sakushi. We do have the Blink Dagger up on the puck as well, as the Familiar is trying to stop G's attempt to push in here or to take the Roche. He has got a double damage rune, so not easy to decide to actually go in there and trying to make something happen, because it might just easily be your death. Light of Heaven is not dead on the bottom lane.
Right.
Close though.
But he did use a lot of time, a lot of precious early game TA time to just whack at that Roche. It's gonna be the slowest TA Roche kill of all time, basically. The nice thing is, all of this distraction, all of this dirtling around the Roshan pit, it's not great for TA, but it's great for Weaver, because he's getting more and more free time.
Yeah, we've got the Roshan. I mean, they're still trying. They're still sitting there. The familiars are there as well, so this is something that 4FC is definitely aware of. It's just a matter of... Oh, a matter of haunting in and still going in to try and take the fight. The Roshan will drop. He just gets picked up at the buck. And that's gonna be 4FC getting that one. G gets picked up. Hand of God still trying to help out. Fiend's Grip in the meantime. Doesn't work out, at least not favorable. Puck still goes down. The Aegis still drops, and Ness still alive, and never mind. In comes Strangby with the kill. Telekinesis up on Godlike. Buyback from G. Wants to be here. His Godlike still dead though, and G now on the run again as well. He just died already. He cannot allow himself to die again. As we see Blomberg face shifting himself. An attack from Resolution, who came in to fight. Gets stunned by Familiar. There goes the Spectre. That's a big pickup, but the TA goes down for the second time in one fight. Resolution might get another kill though. Strangby Shakushi's himself away again. And in the end, 4FC definitely the victors.
4 for 2?
4 for 2. 4 for 3.
4 for 2.
4 for 2 as in 2 died
Well,
on the
the
side of
Aegis,
4FC.
but it wasn't their Aegis, right? Like,
Yeah.
Dire got the... Not only did Dire, like, get the Roche kill, they spent 2 minutes of the entire team's time to kill the Roche, and they didn't even get the Aegis from it.
Yeah.
And the gold that they got was mostly dissipated by the fact that 3 of their players died, one of them twice with a buyback in between. G just took his good start as TA and flatlined it, right? He's now behind on net worth relative to 3 players on 4FC. That was a really costly fight for VP in terms of time, in terms of gold, and in terms of their overall strategy.
On the plus side, Resolution does get himself 2 kills on the board, so we'll help him. And in terms of net worth, I mean, Spectre did die in that fight, of course, as well. In terms of net worth, the Weaver is doing extremely well, especially compared to that the Spectre, who is highest on net worth for 4FC at the moment.
Yeah, that was such a big break for Giftig. Sure, he died, but he participated in so many kills during that fight. It was a really well done haunt, and just managing to stay alive. This is the cool thing about this phase drum Spectre build. You really are actually pretty legitimate in team fights relative to how people
Telekinesis does. They want to try and take him down. They're going to be too slow though. When it comes to Familiars, is it going to be enough? Nah, it's not. They can't chase that. Oh,
Krilly, meanwhile.
Krilly tries to TP himself out. Yes, able to do so. Hookshot too late. Coming from Light of Heaven.
These hookshots haven't been... That one made sense, but a lot of the previous ones, like in that Roche fight, I think he hit Resolution with it. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's tough. I mean, he went the early urn, but he's only managed to amass like a very small amount of charges on it. This clock is 036, which is not terrible, and I mean, he does have good items, like urn and treads are both pretty money efficient. And there's still a lot of room for VP to just win this, because again, Resolution has just been farming his little tiny bug hearts out. Like, he's 7.6k net worth, basically done with Lincolns. In fact, he is done with Lincolns.
Yeah, we've got in the mid lane a bit of an engagement. Krilly and Blomberg being chased away. In comes the Hastrun G. Goes for Krilly. In comes the Sprout and a TP. It looks like, oh, Centaur Stomp. Not gonna be enough. That's Krilly dead. But as in the Centaur Stomp is enough. Take him down. In the meantime, on the top lane, Resolution fights with Familiars. But Familiars will maybe die. 1 hit. Oh, they want to really get the courier.
Surprise the courier. Oh, if they get it!
Oh my god, they get it! 1 more hit! They get it indeed! Holy crap! Familiars die for it. That's worth it.
It's worth it, but if gotten it before it delivered the Lincolns, it would be backbreaking.
Yes.
But they didn't quite get it. But still, no. It's a very good courier kill. It's just a shame that they didn't get the, like, humiliation level courier kill. Blomberg jumping in. Here's the fight.
Dream Call up on 2. Godblack already using his Hand of God, and S already fairly low. Chen is the first one to go down here. Nature's Prophet also picks up the Bane, comes in at the backside of the fight. Resolution still standing in between Sentry Wars. Time-lapse themselves out. G coming back into this as well. Still has the refraction on. Doesn't have a new one for another 13 seconds. Doesn't need it though. Chen able to pick up the Nature's Prophet with his Wild Wing Ripper. Then comes the Telekinesis up on Resolution. Strangby will get picked up by the Clockwork's Flare, as Visage will still go down by the TA. And this is going to be 4FC on the back foot. This is going to be Giftig trying to run for it. And this is Resolution not able to chase him down. But it is a fight that VirtusPro does end up winning. And you gotta love the Wild Wing Ripper actually getting a kill. Goblet getting a kill while he wasn't even there.
Yeah, good damage absorption from VP. I like that Goblet was able to get off his ultimate early in the fight before dying. G survives, which is absolutely critical because he could have very easily died. Once again, we have to give props to... I really think Resolution is just... In a couple of games, we've seen this guy just play the best on this team. And that, he tanked up an entire health bar's worth of damage from 4FC, a team that still doesn't have that great sustained, a lot of it is burst, still got out by using time-lapse, so he was all the way back up to full. And all that time they spent fighting him was like 2 soul assumptions that they could have used to try to bring down TA or something.
Yeah.
So even though Light of Heaven whiffed Hook completely again, they still win the fight, and that's an important fight for them to win.
You flaming Light of Heaven. Nah. Telekinesis and S to the high ground with him. It hits. And he does have a TP scroll.
I'm not flaming,
gonna
he
use
just,
it. Oh,
he just
shot.
whiffed another hook.
Yeah, he did. That he did.
So, like, it's not a flame, he just needs to start hitting these. Like, that was a pretty easy one.
You think that? And maybe the easiest one are the hardest ones, because you don't know how many mind games there's gonna be.
It's true. First cut is the deepest, the easiest.
Yep. Ooh, Resolution on the other side of the tier 1. They will be able to pick it up. That's gonna be the second tier 1 tower down. Of course, the third tower to go down on the side of 4FC, who haven't taken down any towers on the side of VirtusPro so far. VirtusPro is still holding on to all of their towers. Bottom lane still standing quite heavily on quite good on HP. Middle lane is of course on 1/3 of its HP. Top lane halfway down, as we have got Giftig fighting up against Resolution. We'll fight
This
a
is
puck.
the great thing for VP here is just the distance between this Weaver and really anybody on 4FC. Like Spectre, you can just see, has no confidence in his ability to duel Weaver. The power of an early Linken's on this is you just have such a trump card to 1v1 duels. Like, what are they really going to do to you, right? You're just very, very strong. You're high level. It's level 15 Weaver. Highest person on 4FC is level 12. And G, because he's gotten through a couple of fights without dying, like he's almost all the way to his BKB. He's also higher level than the entire team of 4FC. This VP team, I mean, they don't really need their supports to live that long to be scary. Just Weaver and TA alone are going to provide a tremendous amount of damage. I love the medallion on G as well. Like, he medallions and him and Weaver attack a target. Oh, scary.
It's going to be melting down. Pun intended for melt, by the way. But we almost have his BKB up for G as well. I mean, he's, because of that medallion, he's already doing so much damage that he can afford to buy more defensive items first. Especially since the Spectre is so far behind right now. Who is, by the way, on 2300 gold. What item are you expecting Giftig to go for?
Probably... I would get a Yasha, honestly. I think it'll be a solid approach. This is not a Radiance game, in my opinion. You could, but it just seems really, really iffy.
You're gonna at least disable the Blink Dagger off TA. Which I'm gonna assume
he
it's
doesn't have one.
Yeah, yet. He doesn't have one yet.
I guess so. I don't see that. I don't actually think Blink is that important for TA this game, necessarily, but I guess it is. Yeah, okay, he can go Blink next if he wants.
If he wants to.
He might just go Dezo, though. I think Dezo would be better. And in that case, I think building towards Manta style might be really nice for Spectre.
We'll see what he ends up going for. I mean, he's got 2600 gold, he's pretty rich. Strain B in the meantime hanging around on the bottom lane together with some familiars, but nobody of VirtusPro shows up. VirtusPro actually grouping up near the Roche Pit and going to enter the Radiant Jungle. They will see that they are spotted out because there is, of course, wards placed. So that means, are they still going to go knowing that 4FC knows where they are? Apparently they are. They're going to try and take down the last tier 1 tower standing on the side of 4FC, I think. Of course, that is
for
all
sure.
Towards just shutting down the map for Giftig, allowing him not to farm anywhere.
Huh. Very interesting, this choice of early boots of travel for Puck. The reason right now is that VP are exercising tremendous map control by using one hero. Like, Resolution forced Puck back to base just now, just by walking up to him and shooting him a couple times. So Puck with this boots of travel is trying to create space on the map because VP are pressuring it so heavily. So it's actually smart, but the flip side is it's no extra damage, no extra control in teamfights. So it's still a very delicate position that 4FC are in.
Yeah, and they know that they don't want to fight right now, so they let the tower go. They still have some heroes around there. I mean, there's Fate Bolts and Orbs. They just push the lane back out again, which is going to be sufficient. But they know that they cannot fight at the moment. We have the gold graph in favor of VirtusPro. I mean, considering that Weaver is almost like 3k ahead of the Spectre, and there's actually a 5k difference in gold, it's not even that bad in favor of VirtusPro. Only 5k.
It's true if you amortize it over the whole team, they're not that ahead, but in this case, it's actually very good to have the Weaver be the recipient of all this gold. Because, you know, if he spots anybody, he can always chase them back to base, which costs 4FC a lot of time and leveling and gold every time it happens. I do think Spectre is going to go Radiance after all, so I think you're right. He wouldn't be saving 3.5k if he got a Yasha. All quibbling aside, Radiance is certainly a good item for Spectre. The haunt potential of the damage is very, very strong, especially in a spread out team fight. If you can start hitting the backcourt supports with Desolate, they'll drop like stones.
Yeah.
So
They will. We have got VirtusPro again being very aggressive,
Oh, this is
though. G
awkward.
walking up the high ground, get silenced up already. And they're gonna continue trying to go for this. This can be trouble. There's a gem up on G as well. Familiar's already very low, but will be
I don't think
safe.
4FC can fight. They gotta be careful about this.
They do. The trap's already up on the puck, who's trying to get himself out. Phase shift will blink himself out. In comes a flare. Oh, he goes in still. He wants to go for a NS. Dreamcold there as well. In comes Grilly. They want to try and fight this. From behind, here comes Giftig. He already got hookshot. Hey, a lot of Evan Hicks a hookshot. In comes Hand of God. And Ness will still be the first one to go down. No brain sap for him. Godlike gets picked up as well. Now the Visage gets picked up. G on a killing spree, but he gets sprouted up. And now that is 4FC on the way out. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of 4FC. But they have to make sure that G doesn't get anything else out of this. The trap is still there, slowing down both of these. As the Centaur is looking for a stun up on Krilly, but down goes the Centaur. Down goes Krilly as well, though. Or sorry, the Strangby goes down. Krilly goes down
Nice
still
kill.
with the Earn charge. In the end, it is 3-for-2. It is in favor of VirtusPro. And now it's an even trade again with Lumber coming in and taking down the Clockwork.
Instead of having cogsing himself in with the puck and the treants. No, I mean, that was a good fight for VP overall, I feel. It would have been great to get the Spectre. It's a real shame that they didn't. Clockwork just ran out of mana, and they didn't quite use the Arcane Boots or switch the Treads to Int early enough to cogs the Spectre in, so Spectre just sort of... Well, then again, the walk Spectral Dagger is going to get you out of that anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. In the end, I think that's good for VP because it means basically a free Roshan. Without Nature's Prophet, there's no way that 4FC can contest that. Basically another Aegis for either Resolution or G if they want. I'd say probably G, but Resolution is big. Yeah, alright, that's fair too. He basically has MKB if he wants it to.
Yeah, we have got gold up for TA. If she wants a Blinker Dagger, she can get it now. But considering that Resolution is
I'm not
going
sure
for the
if he'll do
MKB here, yeah, perhaps you still want to have the Desolator up on the TA. Really depends. You don't want two of those, so the question is who will get it of the two, Resolution or
Oh,
G?
definitely TA if they get it at all. Like, Desolator's great, but Weaver's so extremely large, he wants to build bigger items.
Reaver wants to really get Strangby, that's what he wants. Actually, he takes a different target, goes for the more challenging targets in terms of HP pools, gets silenced up though. And that will be time left. Oh, wow. He's gonna go back in. Central Ward is there, but Resolution doesn't care. He gets himself a kill.
Just the influence of Weaver on this game is just, he's this like nightmare of 4FC's, well, shit. I meant to say he's like the stuff of nightmares for 4FC. Because he has Aegis. Like, even if he had died there, he walks away, still probably finishing MKB. Only good news for 4FC is Spectre hasn't died in a very long time, so he's all the way up to Radiance. This will ramp his farm up and make him more powerful in teamfights. So the Spectre is starting to get to an intimidating point. But VP right now still able to burst Spectre down extremely quickly if they can focus all their energy on him.
Yeah, you really need some extra survivability. We do have the second courier pickup of the game, same side, so VirtusPro lose their Oski again. This time it was Krilly that teleported into the enemy's base to be able to get it. And Ness in the meantime, TPing himself out. Krilly can't do anything against that, doesn't have a Scythe of Ice yet. And Light of Heaven walks himself out. Lumberg is actually invisible, so they might be able to get him here. They need more than that. They need more than just a puck, but they're gonna let him go. Don't know how many
They
people are
decided not
around.
to TP Krilly. He considered it, but then cancelled it.
Too many people they don't know the whereabouts of.
Right. If TA jumps to you, this would be a really bad time for Nature's Prophet to die. He has 3.2. He has 2.1k saved up, so and most of it is unreliable. So he really wants to make that Scythe.
Yeah. Oh, and we might have some trouble here. Blumberg's still invisible. Lincoln's already popped in Resolution, but in comes the cavalry. In comes G with Wolf, tagging him as well. Puck should be able to TP himself out. No, never mind. He can't, and he dies. Or will he? Yeah, he should be. In comes a hookshot in the meantime on the other side. Catches out the Rubik as down goes the Puck. Where did Puck go? No, Puck TPs himself out. He can get himself out. TP out also from the Spectre. Familiars will
Stuns
go
from
down.
the Familiars helped, yeah, but it's okay to spend Familiars to save Puck there.
Yeah.
That was really nicely played, and good chaining of, phase shift, blink, orb, etc. to get out for Puck.
Yeah.
He was holding the gem, so it's very important that he not die there.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I really thought he was gonna die, as you might have noticed, as I said. He dies 3 times in a row or something.
It happens.
It happens indeed. Good on Puck. We are gonna see tier 2 tower under attack for VirtusPro. I mean, while they're here anyway, why not, right? And it's not like they expect Spectre to be here, because right now 4FC, they want to try and hold the fight off as long as possible, so that Spectre can get as big as possible, and hopefully, of course, also that Nature's Prophet gets himself a Scythe of Ice.
Right. They really can't. I don't think they can 5v5 right now, so they can give away the tier 2. They would defend the high ground. VP, they're not quite at the point where they're comfortable high grounding yet, so I think this was a smart decision. But it's basically a free tier 2. And I do like Light of Heaven's item build. I think the early point booster, but not immediately going into the Aghanim Scepter, was the smart plan here. Just give himself that little bit of cushion for health and mana, and then build that BKB, which is quite important this game.
Yeah, we've got, in the meantime, Godlike, Mechanism, Mana Boots. 28 minutes in, looking pretty solid. Is there actually a Mechanism on the side of 4FC? Because I don't think so. No, we still have Visage trying to build it. I mean, he has got his headdress, but he is not farming very fast, and I think this is actually a problem, because if Giftic is ready to fight, they kind of want to have a Mechanism, at least to... I mean, the fight gets initiated, and only then will Spectre haunt in, normally.
Right.
So you have to have a Mechanism to get that damage back up, and get the armor up on the Spectres, and just, you know, help the fight out that way, and that's kind of delayed.
I agree, it's definitely delayed. This Visage hasn't had the easiest time. And the other thing is, if you want one piece of the mechanism in this situation, it's definitely the Buckler, right?
Yeah.
Like, that armor bonus is so important when you're getting smashed by Weaver TA, now TA with Dezo, and of course Meld, the inherent armor-reducing properties, and Medallion. Any little scrap of armor you can get is very important. Now, Visage will try to stay safe and build up towards the rest of that mechanism, but I totally agree with you, Shiva. The fact that the VP are the ones with the mechanism and 4FC are lacking is one of the many factors why 4FC are trying to assiduously avoid fights.
Yeah. We have a BKB now also up on Light of Heaven, who's getting bigger and bigger by the moment. I mean, of course, Weaver is still on top of the net worth by actually almost 5k compared to the Nature's Prophet. TA still second highest, doing really well. And then you've got the Nature's Prophet, which is of course great, because I mean, Nature's Prophet has a Hand of Midas and he will get a Scythe of Ice, and I mean, because of his Hand of Midas, he is actually in that place. But it does mean that Spectre is still second best in his team, and you really want to have him at the top dog, at least for your team, if not for the game, of course. But Giftic just not able to farm that much, or not able to farm that fast. And just the map control that doesn't work with him in this case as well. I mean, their own jungle has been ganked repeatedly, so he can't even farm securely there.
Look at how Visage drops.
Oh, Visage has one familiar dies.
Yeah, and he took 3/4 of his health pool in one attack from Templar Assassin.
Yeah,
not what you typically want to see.
No.
I mean, it's a Ghost Scepter game, definitely, eventually. The problem for Visage is he cannot justify going Ghost Scepter before finishing Mechanism. So it's going to be a long, hard road for him.
It is indeed. We have got Bane also fairly poor, though, if we're talking about poor supports. Visage is the poorest. Is that actually a word? Most poor?
Yeah, poorest is a word.
Visage is the most poor. Bane second best there, and Rubik after that, and the Chen, of course, pretty decently farmed for his support. Rubik also doesn't really have that much Bracer, Magic Wand, and Mana Boots is basically all he has. It's VirtusPro, by the way. They're roaming around a lot together, trying to, of course, catch people out of position, trying to make things happen. In the meantime, still having their Weaver farming on the bottom lane, split pushing slightly. But the longer they walk around, I mean, they have to try and make something happen. Oh, hello, Smoke. I think they smoked out of the ward. Did they?
I think 4FC spotted it, maybe? Yeah, Visage, look at all the routes they're plotting out, potential routes for VP to come kill them. They could still be in trouble, though.
Yeah, Spectre might be the best target that they could ever find here. That's gonna be 3 hits! Was all it took. Buyback from the Spectre though. He'll hunt in, and that's taking a lot of damage there. Will get picked off. Melt stolen by Strangby helping out for that one. Nature's Prophet will still die. But also down goes the Chen. It is 2 for 2 so far as Light of Heaven tries to make his way out. Already uses BKB. Pops the cogs. Giftic still running. And he's actually gonna let Light of Heaven die to the Visage as he tries to chase down G. But G is just way too fast at this point. He might be able to still get him with the dagger. TP out. Do they have something to stop him with? I mean, the damage is there. Just the text isn't there.
I think actually if the Soul Assumption hits, they might actually kill him there, but it doesn't quite. He manages to get the TP out. Really excellent timing from the TP from G. If they get G there, I actually think that's worth it for the Spectre buyback. As it is, it's not bad, but you can see that his net worth is basically static. Like, because he bought back and died, he lost as much gold as he then gained from the ensuing fight. So his position remains at the exact same point. He's now 7k net worth behind Resolution. The fact is, this Weaver is he's so far above where Spectre is that I still think VP are pretty firmly in control just on the back of Weaver. Once he adds Butterfly, I just don't see how they, Dispersion won't be enough to kill this guy.
And I mean, also one thing, because we saw when Spectre got attacked, she died in 3 hits with 1 melt hit, of course, with the Desolator helping out as well. For 4FC only started to take back the fight when it was clear for VirtusPro, hey, wait a second, we're outnumbered, we have to run. And then 4FC is very strong, of course, because then they can do the damage without getting picked up. But for now, I mean, Spectre, as soon as he gets attacked, he dies. He really needs more survivability to be able to stand up in this game. And I don't just mean by HP, just armor getting more and more important. We do have to buckler up. But I even want to see maybe an Assault Cuirass if possible, so as fast as possible. But who is going to build that for 4FC?
Krilly. After Scythe of Vice, he can build the Cuirass.
No,
I actually agree with you. I think it should be his next item, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
But I can't justify making it on Spectre. He needs Heart Manta.
Yeah, he does.
Much more than he can possibly do that.
I agree with that one.
Rubik almost has all of a Force Staff if he wants it, or a Blink Dagger. That's actually a pretty big deal here. These supports need to get away from TA somehow, and mobility is one way to do that.
Yeah, with 3 heroes now on the top lane for 4FC, we have got VirtusPro deciding, like, do they want to defend, or do they want to force the TPs out by laying down some aggression on the tier 4 and see if they can catch out a mistake from anybody at 4FC. It looks like it's indeed the latter. Look at this tower.
Yeah. They can do a lot of damage very, very quickly due to the power of TA's insane suite of armor reduction.
Yeah. They don't get everything though. They force the TPs back and they don't want to force the fight up high ground just yet. Maybe
and
they
really got the tier
2. Yeah, they got the tier 2. That's pretty nice actually for 4FC. They need that open because that's their way out. That's their split push potential. We do have Roshan up again in just a second, so I'm thinking VirtusPro is gonna take it. I'm not sure if 4FC actually can take a fight for it if they really wanted to.
It's definitely going to be really tricky. Krilly's going to try for his 3rd courier kill. He's going to get it.
And that's the same, yeah. Same as I did earlier.
Yep. So that's the 3rd courier kill of the game, but still VP, yeah, I don't really see a way to take this rush. Puck can try to steal it, but
the Force Staff is right. We know Weaver still gets it. In comes the Familiar, still stunning things up, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Everybody gets himself out of 4FC as well, of course.
That's cheese.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Lot of Heaven is not going to try and hook that. But yeah, that is a cheese indeed, up on the TA.
Yep. And 2 familiar kills for a little bit more gold. Check out how big G is now. G is really, after that sort of tough fight that they had in the middle where he died twice near the tier 1 mid, he's really rallied back, is doing a ton of damage. He's 8-2. Net worth is not up to Weaver's, but still higher than anybody on the team of 4FC. So overall, I would say G is doing quite well, and I think VP still fairly favored in this game. It's going to be tricky for 4FC to find room for the Spectre. In the time that Resolution farmed another 3k, Spectre got 1k.
Yeah, and I mean, you say fairly favored, I actually, somehow, because the graph is very even still in favor of VirtusPro slightly, but still 3k is nothing in 36 minutes. Experience graph, same story. Kill score also seems very, very even. But in my opinion, it just seems to favor VirtusPro so much more because there is just Spectre up against TA and a Weaver that are so fat.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Spectre, you can't discount the potential of this hero to, as long as he has room to farm, which currently he still does, VP don't have quite enough of an advantage to lock out the entire map. So Spectre, as long as he doesn't flatline at this point, like, this Spectre right now is not nearly enough. But add a Heart, add a Manta, we can start talking about the possibility of Spectre just take the game late. And Krilly, to his credit, I mean, Nature's Prophet, one of his best heroes. His Nature's Prophet and Lone Druid are both really strong. So as long as he's able to counteract VP's map advantage by just constantly pushing, I think 4FC can find a window to get back into this. But it really won't be easy, since Resolution is just... he's not stopping the item procession, really.
We've got, again, VirtusPro in the mid lane. Let's see if they can make something happen, or if they just want to force people back. I mean, they have got the Aegis, they've got the cheese. It might be that they try to go up high ground and try to just see how far they can get in the next fight, how fast they can burst heroes up, because if only one hero is out of position on 4FC, that might just be the end of it. It could be the end of it. Giftic. Just to be careful, because one Fiend Script could also mean his ending. And he gets enfeebled, that's already annoying.
For sure. This is definitely a very tricky moment for 4FC. Like, they have to weather the storm of potential high grounding from VP, especially while this Aegis is available for Weaver. And yeah, I feel like VP is very difficult to stop right now.
Yeah, in comes Blumberg. Telekinesis already up on G. In comes a Fiend Script on Blum as well, though. But maybe they can get G. He's hexed up and killed him off. Down goes the Puck as well on the side of 4FC. Puck actually buys back, though. We'll be back here in just a moment. Giftig tries to run. Tries to stick around now. So far, he's okay. The Aegis got burned. Telekinesis still there for resolution. The vision is there as well. They should be able to take him down for the second time, and they do! 3 dead on the side of VirtusPro, and that is exactly the fight that 4FC was waiting for. That 4FC wanted it. In the meantime, Krilly doing what Krilly does best, as Bane still goes down by the Spectre. This is split push. This is a tier 3 tower potentially. Buyback.
Disastrous fight for VP.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but like, well, whatever. Let's just see the fight against resolution.
There is still a hex up. He just died, bought back, and now he might die again. Actually, scratch that. Oh, nice talent lapse! Just in case. In comes Giftig though. Still very low on HP, but still want to try and make something happen. Tower's still alive for now. They don't have another hex for another 25 seconds, so Resolution feels confident in trying to make something happen here. Lincoln's popped again. Silence there as well. They do take him down. Overextension at its finest. Resolution.
Saved game with that time lapse, and then loaded the save where they were losing the game.
Yeah.
That's so bad. He's their entire team.
And G's still dead for second, but I mean, this is Rax, obviously, as you can see.
Oh my god.
In comes Hookshot, Light of Heaven, gets himself Blumberg. Blumberg face shift and sent home by the Chen. They don't want to engage, and I don't blame them, because even if they might get a couple of kills, if they lose that fight, they would have lost way more than just the heroes that they might lose in the fight, and that means that. Can they actually get this? No. This is a snipe though. Nature's Prophet can TP in and take this in 10 seconds. Do you think he'll try? Or do you think the familiar is gonna fly over with 84 HP?
I'm not sure. Either way, that was an enormous fight for 4FC. VP just... I mean, they've only been playing together for like a week, I think. They announced the lineup and were immediately playing in matches.
StarSeries,
so it's gonna take a little time for this lineup to gel together, and with all these players are really, really strong, and they all have slightly different styles. So far, it just sometimes they just desync a little bit. Like, can you tell me honestly what Clockwork did in the fight at Tier 3 mid? Like, what was the contribution of Clockwork to that fight? Did you notice him?
He sent flares?
Right. So that's a problem, right? Because theoretically, Clockwork should be able to disrupt quite a bit there, especially if your TA and Weaver are taking tremendous amounts of damage, but Weaver has an Aegis. You can, for instance, give away the Clockwork to save Weaver and not have to buy him back at great cost. Didn't happen. So I don't know. I just feel like VP sometimes it just desyncs a little bit, and it costs them a lot. They're still so incredibly talented that they're still winning games. But they're going to be sorely tested once they start playing against Alliance, Na'Vi, etc. These kind of teams that are able to punish mistakes better than 4FC can.
Yeah, so far, they're definitely not too far behind to still take this. I mean, one good orchestrated fight and the game could end straight away as Light of Heaven misses another hook shot. But 4FC, I mean, I just made a case earlier that I thought the VirtusPro was going to take it, but 4FC just made sure that they just profited from the mistakes made by VirtusPro and just got themselves a Rax, and they're gonna be able to get a ranged Rax very easily because Nature's Prophet will make that happen with split push, regardless of how the rest of the game goes. The split pushing will still be there, and we also got an MKB almost up on Krilly, so he's gonna be pretty comfortable in his item choices. And actually, VirtusPro, are they gonna try to do the same thing? Because then we're gonna have that situation where there might be a team hitting their heads against a brick wall that just won't budge.
The thing is that was VP's a really good opportunity for VP to win the game outright, and now they're on much shakier footing because now Spectre is done with Heart, going to move towards Manta most likely. Nature's Prophet is now a very credible auto attack and split push threat, whereas VP, the position really hasn't changed. They're in the exact same spot as they were a few minutes ago. They have a lot of armor reduction. In fact, they have, with the Cuirass on, Templar Assassin, they're able to reduce somebody like minus 20 armor if they want to.
God.
But as we saw in the last fight, if you don't put together the AoEs, and you just get AoE silenced and sheeped and stuff, it doesn't matter how much armor reduction you have if your TA is locked down. So their strategy can't really change. It's just still a matter of let's kill Roshan very quickly, amass 1-ups, and try to push through as 5 and win. And when that happens doesn't really matter, except for the fact that, in my opinion, they have to wait for Weaver buyback to come up.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They need resolution there. I like the amount of disable that 4FC has. I mean, with the side of the vices that they have on the puck and the Nature's Prophet, and also the telekinesis there, it's I mean, it's helping them out so much. Without that, they obviously they couldn't have done it. But as you said, the TA able to put minus 20 armor on someone is quite insane. And therefore, if you then have yourselves a Templar Assassin that's going to be hexed the entire time, it's going to be such a game changer, such a fight changer for 4FC, who are still forced to play very safe, but they find themselves a Ness who's already hexed up. Hand of God keeps him alive for a little while longer, but he still ends up going down. BKB up for Light of Heaven, puts the cogs down, bit of an awkward positioning, and now tries to TP himself out. Still gets attacked by the familiars, but it looks like that's going to be one already out, one already dead. Down goes the Chen, Resolution and G, the last ones here. Is there more disabled for them? There's still no more time left for Resolution, and he cannot afford to die. There's a gem up on Blum as well. There's no way he can get himself out, and that is going to be another kill added to the board. 4FC losing only their Nature's Prophet, I believe, and that's going to be G, still picked up as well, because Grilly TP'd into the front lines. And I mean, Nature's Prophet bought back. This is ranged Rex who already got picked up by the creeps, but they can rotate easily towards the bottom lane, and they're gonna, or towards the middle lane. They're gonna do that. This is 4 people dead on the side of VirtusPro.
Oh, this is bad. Resolution is like 80 gold short of buyback. Even it's gonna come up in a couple seconds, but he can't afford it. Oh my god, I still really love this player. Like did you see his time lapse in that fight? He was at like 3 HP at time lapsed and managed to get another health bar. So he's really good at maximizing the survivability of Weaver, except for the fact that the rest of the team doesn't live long enough for that to matter, and this might just be game. I don't know. G? Oh, G actually has buyback, but because Resolution doesn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
He knows he can't make anything happen by himself. I knew it was a really awkward fight for VirtusPro to take as well. I mean, they just ran into some heroes in the jungle. Maybe they thought they were outnumbering them, that not everybody of 4FC was there. But everybody was there, and I think the moment that it went south, I think they could have backed off earlier. And might have been able to stay alive. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Defensive cogs and just try to run.
God Black, you're so dead.
What's with the positioning? Why? You have no vision, really, of any of this area, right? Like, no vision. Mm-hmm. Your Chen, you don't have no tier 3 tower to come back to. Why, as Chen, are you safe there?
You don't want to take any creeps there either. You want to go, if you're gonna go somewhere, you go to the jungle. But no, yeah, you're right. It's just you never been there. We have Roshan on temp now. I think this will be the first Roshan for 4FC. Who, by the way, I feel like they've been given this game. You talked about it a little bit earlier today when we were talking about the EMS roster or EMS brackets.
Yeah.
That VirtusPro has got this potential to throw. Basically.
Hey, you're mischaracterizing my statements. Every team has a potential to throw. They just throw in really different ways.
Well, you said an entertaining way to throw? What was it?
I think I said when VP loses it.
Oh, we have got a disconnect from the clock, by the way. We probably have a pause.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Internal debates.
I'm not so sure that this was the kind of disconnect that you pause afterwards, is all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, they're gonna lose their tier 3 tower here as well. Resolution still in this. In comes a question from the caster, from Casper. Asking for the pause. Lincoln's popped. Hook shot in. They use Light of Heaven regardless. And that's gonna be 1 Clockwork dead. GG called. Resolution doesn't want to play anymore. And that's gonna be Mega Creeps. VirtusPro.
He's clearly not the only one.
Yeah, we are gonna see. I mean, VirtusPro with. Actually, they. Did I? Oh, I think I updated something.
They need more time, and right when this team began, I think you, Shiver, were like, well, it's a team of a lot of alpha males. Like, the ego could be something that they're going to have to struggle with. And I think at the time I was like, nah, they're fine, but
it might be.
I don't know.
It takes time.
That rage quit,
It just takes time.
I don't think you should rage quit out of games.
I agree, but it takes time to get to work together. And I think the same thing, I mean, a lot of people have been asking about DK. I think the same thing will go for DK. They will need some time to get their synergy straight and stuff. But we're gonna jump ourselves into another game. We're still half an hour behind schedule, but we're gonna see Fnatic versus KP, so stick around for more Star Series action. Of course, you're watching Star Series, Star Ladder. It is Season 7, day number 10. This was game number 2 of 3 games today, and we're gonna jump ourselves to the third game. KP versus Fnatic. Don't go anywhere.